Hi, my friends. So this is a bit of apologetic video, given the fact that there has been a while that I have not been producing so many videos on my Georgia series. And you know that in previous video from Croatia, I said that probably I will make some more from Croatia. Never happened. I'm back in Latvia, so for a week, basically within a week, I have created only one video, but I have a story, a Georgian story that may give you a bit of a different context on, and that came to me as a result of my sort of struggle about me promising to do some more videos and then not delivering on that promise, and actually even creating that one video was a bit of a struggle, so I made myself to make that video. So there is a story, and the story is probably could be in any place of timeline, but the particular one very interesting sort of observation that I had came from us living in Georgia second time when I was living in second time in Georgia from 2006 to 2008. But mentally it could happen at any point of time. So I'm that what you would consider a stereotypical Nordic or Western Nordic person. So take a German or take a Latvian. What is around timing? One thing that is very important for us: keeping promises, being on time, being a bit of perfectionist is our way of life. Actually, being late is on the level of sin. I know that I'm a bit black and white, but that's more or less the thinking in Western Nordic countries, that being on time, being exact, keeping your promises, whichever stupid or good, is very important. Now, I'm not saying that in Georgia it's not important, but it has a bit of twist. So, and that of course, when you and I will come to the story slightly later, and that of course is a bit of a struggle when you get into business or work situation. Me as a person with the value scale that if I have a meeting at 10 o'clock, then basically I would arrive at 9:45 just to make sure that I'm not late, right? Then in Georgia, doesn't matter, it's somebody visiting you or you are visiting somebody else. If your meeting is at 10, it's very rare that there will be a person at 10. It would be absolutely normal that you arrive, especially in morning. If it's morning meeting, Georgian managers or Georgian bosses are not very early in their offices, typically. I'm not saying that there are no Georgian bosses on time. There are, right? As there are lousy time makers in Baltics. But typically, in most of the cases, they would not be there at 10. You would arrive, and in many cases, actually, the office would be closed because nobody is yet there, and I'm there. And then somehow you manage and that person arrives. Or that person is coming to visit you, the same story. You have a meeting at 10, 11, doesn't matter. They would, in most of the cases, be late. They might mumble some apologetic phrase, they might not, but you understand that there will be no learning whatsoever. That person will be late again. So they may say, I'm sorry I'm late, but they actually never mean that they are sorry, right? or they're not taking any kind of lessons from that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm writing this, recording this video in Georgian context. So if we look as a comparison in our view of time and how we spend time in Latvia, or at least if I talk from my personal prism and as I do it, and Georgians, as I have observed, is this. So when we were living in Georgia from 2006 to 2008, we had a sort of a tradition. During winter, nearly every Saturday, we were driving from Tbilisi to Guduri, which is like, I don't know, around 100 something kilometers from Tbilisi, I think. Well, it's an hour and a half drive, I would say. Pretty speedy drive though. We were going to ski resort, so we were going to ski, downhill skiing, and it was nearly every Saturday. It was like a routine. What we are doing during Saturday, we go to ski. So now let me tell you a story how this worked for us Latvians. At that point of time, I had several Latvians working for me in Tbilisi, and what we had, it was sometimes it was only me and my wife and maybe somebody in my car going to Guduri. Sometimes it was several cars going to Guduri, but the same sort of Latvians or Baltic type people, and how we were doing it. So 10 o'clock, the lifts are opening in Guduri. So what we were doing, we were planning our route or our departure in the way that we would arrive by 10 to be ones that start the skiing. So to do this, we were waking up with the alarm clock, even though it's a Saturday, so it's alarm clock set. Most of the things are packed already in a previous evening. Some stuff is already in a car. We would never eat breakfast at home. We would eat some sandwiches on the way, just to make it more efficient and more sort of, we have more sleep time and we get faster to Guduri. So when we get to Guduri, we are like 9:55 by the lift. We're one of the first, if not the first ones to take the seat in the lift. So once the lift goes, we are one of the first ones to get actually on the slopes. As there are as we have some experience with slopes, we know that on the now, of course, if you have been in Guduri in last few years, then there are more lifts than there were in 2006, 2008. But anyway, we have some idea of which lift or which slope is more busy at which part of the day. So what we do, we go to those slopes who will be busy during the peak hours, so that we can enjoy these slopes, and then we will move to other slopes which are not that often visited, and we will go there. So all the mentality around actually having our day off, Saturday skiing, is to be one of the first ones on the lift. Make as many downhills as possible. Even lunch would be not planned or very quick, to just do as many rides as you can do. And we were enjoying ourselves. I mean, we went for skiing, so we were skiing. Now, I remember one situation when one of my Georgian colleagues, I'm not sure whether it was from my company or there was some just acquaintance, that were talking about plans for weekend, and I mentioned that we are going to Guduri, and that person says, let's go together. And I said, let's go together. Why not? And he says, okay, well then Saturday morning after breakfast, we start somewhere around 12. 12? I used to be 10 a.m. on the slope, and he says start at 12, which means arrive by roughly 2. Nah, we didn't go together. That's one big difference, right? So we wake up with an alarm clock. We eat breakfast in the car just to be quick and efficient. Georgians enjoy. They wake up whenever they wake up. They have breakfast, and then when they are ready, they leave, right? And they arrive to Guduri for skiing. Now, the rest of my sort of now full of story is a bit around the skiing, is a bit sort of made up story, but that could be very true. So when this Georgian arrives to slopes around 1 or 2, which is roughly a lunchtime, right? So he gets to the second lift where there is a cafe area, and he might meet somebody he knows. And they may decide to sit down for tea, for coffee, for hachapuri, or for beer or chacha, whatever they like to. And they have a chat, and they drink some beers or drink some tea or eat something, and then maybe they meet somebody else and they chat with that person. And it well may happen that Georgian, at the end of when the slopes are closing, he hasn't done any rides. So what he does, he goes downhill to his car and he goes back home. That's the major, and of course they might do several rides. So that doesn't have to be like that. But the idea is that what Georgians do, they just enjoy time that they have. And if they came to ski resort, and it doesn't have to be that they will do skiing. I mean, for us, that would be very strange to go to ski resort and not to ski if we intended to ski. So if we intended to ski, we have to do skiing, a lot of downhill. I mean, I spent my time to get there. I spent time for lifts, so money for lifts, so I have to do as many rides as possible. For Georgian, he's just enjoying. And if he came to resort and didn't ski, that's fine. If he came to resort and he skied, that's fine too. If he came to resort and he had fun with his friends in cafe, that's fine. If he skied a lot, that's fine. I mean, this idea around using your time, that's a big difference between me and stereotypical Nordic Western people and Georgian and many nations around that region, where actually it's not important. It's just, you go with the flow. And so now in a work situation, and I will then come back to this Croatia videos a bit as well. That means that if you like, let's assume you were supposed to get report on 10th of whatever May by 12 o'clock. In Georgia, it doesn't mean it will be on 10th of May at 12 o'clock. Well, I know that in many different countries, I mean, no reports are delivered on time 100%, but people struggle to do it, and they try to do it, and if it's not at 12, it's at 1. In many cases, they actually at least hit the date. If not, it's the next morning with the "I'm sorry, I'm late" sort of thing. So in most of the cases, people feel guilty about not sending report on time, and they are followed up by somebody saying where the hell is report and something like that. Now in Georgia as well, reports are not coming on time, at least not 100% in cases, and I have been in a situation when I'm saying where is the report that was supposed to be here 2 days ago, and a person says, well, has anybody died due to the fact that there is no report? No, nobody died. So, and he says, well, then it's fine. There will be a report, but it's not going to be. I mean, one day here or one day there, doesn't matter. I'm not saying that you have to like this type of an approach or that this type of an answer, and I'm not saying that I like it either. But the thing I'm telling this story, or the reason why this came to me when I struggled with myself around, I promised to make those videos, and I took even this and that, and I was planning to do, and every morning you wake up with this, oh shit, I didn't make that video yesterday, but now I have some plans with my family, and then maybe I will do a video back then. And then in the evening you feel like a bit maybe tired, or maybe, I mean, it requires a bit of creativity or a bit of emotional state to make those videos. And you say, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. And then this sort of burden builds up on you that I haven't made it, I haven't done it. So I had a struggle around it, but I also had very good time with my kids and with my wife around the pool and in the sea and everything. So I applied a bit of this Georgian attempt, Georgian thinking that, I mean, probably my video is not life-changing, at least this video is not life-changing or so critical to be published, so I can give myself just a period to breathe. Still, I feel guilty. I still feel that I have to apologize for not keeping my promises. And there are those two parts in me fighting: this perfectionist who had the intention to make 3-4 videos during that week, and actually made only one, and even that was quite a struggle. And the person who says, well, but you just enjoyed your time, and it's okay. That was not video that somebody was waiting for 3 years and had to have it to save somebody's life. So I'm sorry that I didn't do it. On the other hand, I'm absolutely okay. So you may have now very different feelings around it, which I would love you to actually to put in the comments under the video. How do you feel it? Do you feel betrayed? Do you feel angry about me not keeping promises and not even using Georgian's story as a sort of an excuse not to deliver on promises? Or you feel fine with it? Or you understand the point, but you still are still on the sort of perfectionist mode. So it would be very interesting to hear what you think about this, keeping promises or enjoying your time, and how do you manage those things when they get in conflict. Anyway, I had fantastic time. This also created this idea for this particular video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, so please push the subscribe button, put the like under the video if you enjoyed the video, and also I would love to get your comments on how you feel about time being exact, and what do you do when you get in conflicting situation around enjoying yourself and your promises that you made. So have a good time, and I'm back from vacation, so hopefully, you never know, hopefully we will get more videos coming up during the following few weeks, and I will compensate whatever I haven't done back in my vacation. So have a good day once again. Bye bye.